Guys, welcome back to another episode of Florida Panthers Daily. I'm your host, Jacob Williams. Let's jump in today's episode. So, Matthew Caldwell, who's currently been serving as our president of the Florida Panthers, is leaving to go to Minnesota to take a job as the CEO of the NBA's Minnesota Timberwolves and the WNBA's Minnesota Lynx. This is a significant move for us as Caldwell has played a key role in the Panthers' recent success with us winning back-to-back Stanley Cup champions. I think it's also another big key factor to take away is he's signing a 10-year deal with the Minnesota Timberwolves / Lynx. I know they have new ownership group. Alex Rodriguez is a part of that. And, winning sells, and this is kind of a reward for what Caldwell was able to do as president of the Florida Panthers, going to 3 straight Stanley Cup finals, winning back-to-back cups, and this is a nice reward for him, especially with such a long-term commitment of 10 years. Usually in the NBA, NFL, contracts are measured in months, not years, and that's a long-term commitment, but that's a great reward for what he was able to accomplish down here in Florida. Moving on to our next topic, Matthew Tkachuk, his update, what's going on with him. So star forward Matthew Tkachuk, he's went and undergone surgery for his torn adductor muscle and hernia. So those injuries were sustained during the Four Nations face-off in February. He missed the final 25 regular season games, but returned, obviously, as we know, to the Stanley Cup Finals and the Stanley Cup playoffs. Tkachuk is expected to miss the start of the 25-26 season, potentially until January. Don't look for him to come back until that time. But according to ESPN, despite the injuries, he played a crucial role in the Panthers' obviously second consecutive Stanley Cup victory. He registered 23 points, 8 goals, 15 assists in all 23 playoff games. So that's the update on him. Had surgery. He's not going to be back until January, which is great because it frees up some cap space. And it's also kind of like we don't need him the beginning part of the year. We need him during the playoffs. So that's a little update on Matthew Tkachuk, when we can expect him back, like I said, early January. And just hopefully he has a full recovery and he's not getting hurt again, because I know in 23 he got banged up in the Stanley Cup final, got banged up this past year. We'll see if he plays in the Olympics. I don't see him not playing in the Olympics. Hopefully he doesn't hurt himself again playing for Team USA, but we'll see what happens. Also in other news, Florida Panthers have signing Luke Kunin to a 1-year deal. So if you guys don't know who Luke Kunin was, former first-round draft pick by the Minnesota Wild, played a couple years there. We agreed to him on a 1-year league minimum contract, which is $775,000. And really what this is this is to bolster our depth at the bottom 6 forward group. We'll see what happens, because there's been a lot of talk of we're having salary cap issues. We just got to get through this year because the cap's going to go up $18 million next year. Are we getting some cheaper guys to potentially move a piece? Also wouldn't behoove me, and I'm going to say this now, who knows if somebody gets hurt before we have to go and make a change or Tkachuk comes back. So we'll see what happens there, but Panthers signing Luke Kunin to a 1-year contract extension, bolster some of their depth on the forward end, especially on the back end. Wouldn't be surprised if he actually got moved down because of what we're paying him. Played a little bit more in the minors. Then if we needed help, bring him up. But little adds bolsters our depth. And so that should be exciting to see what he's able to do once he goes and gets on the roster. So now this is moving forward to my favorite part of the video. And as we're approaching the upcoming season, right now in end of August, early September, season's going to be starting here in about a month, preseason starting really soon, is what are 3 games that, man, live in South Florida wanting to go and catch the Panthers, 3 games that you're kind of like, all right, these are the 3 games I would love to go to. Put them in order on kind of how I would rank them. If you're going to a game this year, hit at least one of these top 3 games. The first game is going to be a pretty obvious one, and that's October 7th versus the Chicago Blackhawks. If you guys don't know, that's opening night. That's banner-raising night. We've only had 2 banner-raising nights in the history of our 31-year existence as a franchise, so that's pretty special. It never gets old seeing a championship banner get raised into the rafters of your team. Playing the Blackhawks, weird time at 5 o'clock, weekday, still should be super exciting. Always fun going, and I went to the banner raising game last year. Should be super exciting. The next game is November 22nd, and this is against the Oilers. Obviously, it's the rematch of the past two Stanley Cup finals. You're going to see the best player in the world play, maybe potentially even the two of the top 5 players in the world play with Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl. There's always going to be excitement. It's going to be bad blood. I think now one of our biggest rivals besides the Tampa Bay Lightning is switching from the Bruins to the Oilers because of how much we're playing them, not just in the playoffs, but in the Stanley Cup final. There's no love lost in last year's final. November 22nd. Make sure you circle that on your calendar. It's on a Saturday. Should be super exciting. Oilers coming back to Amerant Bank Arena. The third one is also a game that has no shortage of bad blood. I think this is probably the Florida Panthers' biggest rival, especially on a consistent basis, and that is the Tampa Bay Lightning. So we always play the Tampa Bay Lightning 3 times every single year, and we switch years based on whether we host them twice or whether they host us twice. This year, they're hosting us twice. We only play them once at home. I believe we play them, let me rephrase. We play them twice at home, but this is the last home game that you're going to be able to see them, and that's December 27th, and that's the Battle of Florida against the Tampa Bay Lightning. It's great because it's a Saturday, and it's also right after Christmas, so everybody should have off. Always very, very tough physical matchups with them. It's going to be a big game. They win and they controlled the league for 3 years. Now we're controlling the league for 3 years. They're still a very good team. It's just there's one problem, and they're running into us every single year from them going and achieving their ultimate dream. December 27th, Tampa Bay Lightning. Circle it on your calendar. Those are my top 3 games for this upcoming season. Thank you guys for watching Florida Panthers Daily. If you guys can, hit that like, subscribe button. Hope to see you guys again soon. Have a great one.